Welcome, you guys. I am super, super excited about tonight. Um, our hope for this call tonight is for everyone to come on here to hear some stories from women who are just incredible women, who are very relatable, who probably were super, super skeptical before they began with the Plexus products, but they started for a reason, for their health things that they were going through. They love the products enough that they started to share. So not only did the products help them with their health, but the products have helped them with lots of freedom with their finances and just changing the trajectory of their families. And so our hope is that you will just hear some of these stories and not only walk away with warm fuzzies of, oh, wouldn't that be nice, but walk away thinking, what if I tried these products? Or if you've been on the products before and have stopped, what if I was consistent with these? Or if you're on the products right now and you're loving them, what if I started sharing them with other people? What
Stop,
could
Ruby.
that look like for our family? What could that look like for people that I know? So, my name is Emily Burgess. I live in Boise, Idaho. I'm married. I have two young daughters who are just the joys of my life. I was super skeptical. And so, for 4 years, my friend asked me to come and do the Plexus business with her, to do the products with her. I thought she was crazy. I saw a lot of people taking the products and losing weight. A lot of friends that I knew losing weight. So when I saw that, I immediately thought, this is a weight loss fad diet. I am not interested in that. I'm going to just lose weight the old fashioned way. As I'm thinking that, I'm sitting there eating tacos and chocolate chips and peanut butter and all the sweets I could get my hands on. So obviously, I wasn't losing weight. I felt very exhausted all day, every day. However, I couldn't sleep at night. I was super restless. Every noise, I would wake up and it would take me forever to fall back asleep. I come from a long line of insomniacs, so I had that in my brain too. Like I said, I was super exhausted. I spent my whole life just assuming gas and like bloating was just normal. I assumed that that was just normal because I had dealt with that my whole life. I was never consistent going to the bathroom, but I just assumed that that was normal. My husband, on the other hand, he was going to the bathroom multiple times a day, and I thought that there was something wrong with the poor guy. So I just had a lot of just things that I thought was normal for a woman in her mid to late 30s who had young kids. Well, after 4 years, I finally got to a place where I looked in the mirror and I just felt like I didn't like how I felt and I didn't like what I saw. And I think after 4 years of super skepticism, but also seeing a lot of people that I loved and trusted sharing about these products and what they were helping them with, I thought, well, I'm not going to get a third eye because I see that there are like vitamins and minerals and probiotics and they're natural and plant-based. Maybe I'll just try it out. What if this could help me the way it helps other people that I love and trust? And so I tried the triplex, which I'm sure a lot of the women who are sharing tonight probably started out with that. That's our gut health system. And within a couple of days, I started to notice more energy. Then I started to notice that that Michelin man stomach situation was starting to diminish. I noticed that in the staff break room every Tuesday we had donuts. I wasn't hungry for the donuts. I wasn't even interested in the donuts. I noticed that at night I was no longer going to our pantry to get our peanut butter and chocolate chips to dip them in, and it felt really good. I noticed that I started to sleep deeper and I would wake up rested and I would wake up feeling leaner. Like there were just so many little non-scale victories that I started to notice that I remember thinking, if I'm feeling this way after 1 month, 2 months on the products, what is it going to be like in 6 months or 12 months? And so I started with that mindset of I'm in this for the long haul. I'm going to do this because I feel really good. And I also had seen so many of my friends sharing about these products and changing everything for their families. These are people that I went to college with, that were like mystery shoppers for Papa John's Pizza and Arby's, and that was how they got paid. And now here they are buying their dream home, supporting orphanages overseas, paying off their husband's PA school debt, like incredible changes. And my husband was in the ministry, and we desperately needed that. And so I started sharing, and people were coming out of the woodwork. I was so scared. I didn't want to be that girl, but people were coming out of the woodwork because I don't know if you know this, but it's not normal table talk to talk about your bowel movements. And a lot of times you're not really talking about the anxiety or depression that you have over dinner with a bunch of people. And so there are a lot of people that we don't know are silently suffering or struggling. And so when I put myself out there and started to share the things that I was learning about gut health, the things that I was learning about inflammation and blood sugar regulating, people were hungry to do something for their health. And then that just catapulted a business that turned into us being at the very top of the company. And all of these women who are sharing tonight are at the top of the company, and they have incredible stories. And so their stories are different than mine, but that's what makes this so special. Their personalities are different than mine, and that's what makes this so special. Anybody can do this if they believe in it, if they have a heart to learn and to grow. And this is not just about like the opportunity. This is about the health changes. So if you're like, I don't want to have anything to do with the business, that's great. I want you to hear about the health, but I also want you to know that the financial aspect of this has changed every single one of our lives, and then hundreds of people underneath us as well. So thank you for listening to my story. I'm going to pass it off to my really good friend, Chelsea. Go ahead, Chelsea.
I just resonate so much with all of that. When I started, so I've been on Plexus supplements since 2016, and I was struggling with so many of the same things that you were, Emily: fatigue, sleep issues, daily bloating, and constipation that I also thought were normal and that everybody else struggled with, hormone swings. And I really just kind of got to the same place where I had just lost my spark. And I found myself at 32 years old in what should have been the prime of my life, really just feeling like a shell of my former self. So when my friend started sharing some supplements that were working for her, I listened. And even though I was skeptical, kind of like you, I trusted her because I saw her coming alive again before my eyes. And so if you're watching this tonight and you're maybe not even familiar with our products and kind of what they're all about, and maybe this is your first experience with Plexus, in a nutshell, it's really all about gut health and blood sugar and clean energy and really getting to the root of what's going on in your body rather than slapping a Red Bull on it or slapping some ibuprofen on it or slapping some Miralax on it. It is not a Band-Aid product. And I have loved that from the start, is to get to the heart of the problem product. And that has always been what I've loved so much about it. So when I first started, my expectations were low, y'all. I really just wanted two things. I wanted a scrap of energy to be able to care for myself at the end of the day and to be able to go to the bathroom regularly again, because it had been 3 long years since either one of those things has happened for me. And just to have those two things happen would have been over the top and really just sent me riding home. At the same time, I was starting these supplements. I was also working part-time as a 5th grade teacher at our local hybrid school. My husband is a public school teacher, so I was very much looking for ways to contribute to our income. So to fill in the gaps, I was tutoring, and that was requiring hours away from my family after school and on the weekends. And it really just wasn't working for our family dynamic anymore. And what I found kind of since then is that traditional jobs require traditional hours away from home. And that's just not what I wanted, y'all. I wanted more time flexibility. I wanted to be with my family. And I feel like so many of us are trained to think that way, right? We have been taught our whole lives to look for jobs over opportunities. And that was really a mindset around that time that really started to shift and change for me. So anyway, long story short, after about a month of consistency with Triplex, that's the same combo I started with, those two things that I wanted to happen started to happen. I was going to the bathroom like clockwork every single morning, and I had energy not only to get through the day, but I had energy to spare. Bonuses started to happen about a month and a half in. My brain fog started to lift. My bloating was gone. I lost my last 5 pounds of baby weight. I came off my over-the-counter sleep meds, and I just started to feel my spark come back. And I still feel the same way 7 years later. And I'm not saying that I don't have bad days occasionally, but it is no longer my norm. I have way more good days than bad days now. And that was just a game changer for me, because we all know when mama is off, you are the mood maker of the home and everything is off. So I was literally watching our family dynamics change simply because I was feeling better. And this is where I found myself at that point. I had a 3-month-old baby and a 3-year-old at home. And I was just kind of at this crossroads saying to myself, okay, Chelsea, you can either keep doing what you've always done and get the same results, or you can try something different and you can work for different results. I was either going to keep trading my hours for X number of dollars, or I could invest my time in something that had the potential to create residual income for our family. And so, kind of at a place of really looking at that reality and knowing I wanted something different for my life, not just in the future, but in this current season, I made a post on Facebook and I reached out to my mom, my sister, and my best friend. And I said, hey, do you want to do this crazy thing with me? And y'all, I made over $300 my first month, which was the equivalent of about 20 hours of tutoring when you factor in prep time, drive time, and actual time spent tutoring. And I saw the possibility with this. Less than 2 years later, I was paying our mortgage, both our car payments, and my monthly Plexus check. And a few years later, I was fully retired from teaching and making six figures from my phone with Plexus over probiotics, y'all. Every month we get a check, a digital check, and I look at my husband and I say, this is from sharing probiotics. This is about sharing energy. And it was really just me talking about those things. And I want y'all to know there are so many people around you right now, just like Emily said, that need gut health, that need energy. They want to feel better. They want to be the fun mom. They have autoimmune issues. They have unexplained headaches. There are so many people who need what we have, and we can offer a solution with this. So as y'all are kind of listening to the rest of these amazing women tonight and getting to hear kind of their story and their take on this, even if you're just starting for this for the products, I want you for the next 15 minutes to just be open-minded and really just think about these two questions. Number one, are you willing to look for an opportunity over a job? And number two, are you willing to get out of your own way to do it? Because the opportunity is here, y'all. There are 5 teams represented here, hundreds, thousands of women who are bringing in an income with this. And I want you to ask yourself, why not me? Why not me? If an introverted 5th grade teacher with no social media presence 7 years ago can do this, why not me? And I want you to think about this while these other amazing ladies share their story and you kind of think about where you're going after this.
Absolutely amazing, Chelsea. Okay, so with everyone's story, there is something that I can resonate with. Turns out a lot of us had problems going to the bathroom. And whenever, whenever I meet people, I say, hey, listen, we're going to get close really fast because we're going to talk about your poop. Okay. And so we literally make a living by talking to people about their poop every single day. Never in my wildest dreams that I think that is what I was going to be doing, but here I am and I'm loving it. And so a little bit more about me. My name is Megan Malakvik. I am a mom of 3 crazy, amazing boys, and I am pregnant with my 4th boy. So if I sound like I am out of breath, it's because I am, because I have a big baby pushing on my lungs and we're running out of room over here. And so when I started Plexus, I actually, when my husband and I got married, I was very adamant that I would never work. And I told him, we got married and I said, hey, like, I just want you to know, I want to stay at home and raise babies and I'm never going to have a job. Like, I'm not made for a 9 to 5. I'm allergic to it. I can't do it. I wasn't made for it. And he said that was totally fine. He supported me in that. We started our family right away and I was staying at home with our kids. And while I was living my dream life, he was living a nightmare because he had unexpectedly gotten let go from his job when I was 20 weeks pregnant with our second baby. And so it just sent us down this, what I call series of unfortunate events. And we saw ourselves in a place where we had never imagined our lives would be. He got let go from an amazing job that we had just moved for. And our kids ended up on Medicaid. And on top of that, we had $100,000 of student loan debt hanging over our heads. And I certainly wasn't going to go out and get a job because, like I said, I was not made for the workforce. And so we struggled for a while. And we watched our friend, I watched her go to the top and I watched all these people and we were laughing at it. We were like, what is this pink drink? This is ridiculous. My mom actually made a pact with some of her friends that she would never, ever take these products. And now we're both at the top of the company. And so when all of that was going on, we finally decided, okay, you know what? We're going to try this. I was exhausted. My husband's a type 2 diabetic, so his sugars were all over the place. And so we said, well, why not? like, let's go ahead and do this. And honestly, we didn't really have the money in order to invest in this, but we found a way. And so if there's something that you're really wanting, you will find a way. Um, and so even then I didn't start for the business, even though they were like, "Hey, we can help you get your products covered." And I was like, "No, thank you." And my friend was like, "Can you at least just do a few posts on Facebook for me?" So I did. She was my friend. I did her a favor. I posted on Facebook. And not too much came of it about it at first. And I started noticing amazing results. And I started sharing those amazing results. And then I thought, I was like, you know what? Actually, I think I am going to share these things. And so my husband, who's a very business savvy man, he sat down and he looked at the compensation plan. And like I said, I wasn't good with numbers, but he was great with numbers. And he said, Megan, he was like, I have never seen a compensation plan that is this generous. And I thought, okay, well, he knows what he's talking about. So if he thinks this is going to be a really great idea, I think we're going to go for it. I said, babe, I think I can actually do this. And I had tried other things like this in the past. And like one, I lost $600, like another one, just was not good. And so he's thinking in his mind, like, I don't think she can do this. And he told me that after we reached the top of the company. And so I said, babe, I'm going to do this. Like, I'm going to change things for our family. And while he was skeptical, he was like, okay, go for it. Because again, he was feeling amazing. I was feeling amazing. Like I remember the one morning when I woke up and I got up off the couch and my little guy was like, Mommy, come chase me. And I was running down the hallway after him and I hadn't had coffee or anything. And I thought, wow, okay, there must be something to these products because I'm chasing my kid down the hallway. I'm not parenting from the couch anymore. My life doesn't revolve around nap time, and not because of my kids, but because of me, because I needed to nap every single afternoon. And if you have ever noticed, like Starbucks and Sonic and places like that, they all have happy hour in the afternoon because most Americans are crashing because their blood sugar is not balanced. That was me. You're talking to the girl who, like in elementary school, went down to the nurse's office to nap because she was so tired. Okay, so this wasn't just like mom tired, I'm an adult, yes, I have kids, of course I'm going to be exhausted, right? No, that was not it. Like my whole life I struggled with this. And so the fact that I was not needing to nap every afternoon was a really, really big deal. And, as moms, so many times we kind of pride ourselves with, oh, tired as a mother, people wear shirts like that. And we're like, yes, it's exhausting. Yes, parenting can be very tiring, but there is a difference, right? And so we're here to offer that you don't have to be tired as a mother all the time. Like you can have energy to actually keep up with your kids and feel amazing. And so with that, I just made a decision and I said, you know what? Like we're going all in with this and we're going to the top and I am going to change the course of our family. We had been trying to figure out how are we going to get out of this mess. And I never thought I was going to be the one who was going to help to get us out of that situation, but I was. And so I found, while I never wanted the business before, I found an unexpected passion for this business and for showing other people that their dreams are possible. And in a nutshell, the way that our life has changed from 6-7 years ago is that $100,000 that we had in student loan debt that we had hanging over our heads. We paid that off in 15 months. So many of the things that were once just a vision on our dream board, they're now our reality. Like my hair's soaking wet tonight because I went swimming with my kids on the 27th of September in Tennessee, where it's not necessarily the warmest, but we can heat our pool, and our pool was paid in cash because of Plexus. Like all of these things, you guys, money cannot buy you happiness, but it can give you options. And every option that I've had in my life since we started Plexus has just breathed so much blessing. And it's not just about what my family's been able to have. We have been able to give to so many ministries, one that's near and dear to our heart. Last year, we were able to give to them what Phil was making when our kids were on Medicaid. Like that's absolutely insane, you guys. And so I could share with you so many other just examples about how our family has been blessed because of this business opportunity. But I would say one of the biggest things is watching people's dreams come alive, watching people who felt like they were hopeless, who felt like they were trapped in whatever situation that looked like. And now they're starting to dream again. And their kids are noticing a difference in them. The positive affirmations that my kids say now and the way they believe in themselves because they've seen me believe in myself, it brings me to tears. Like, it is such a blessing to watch the way that they talk to themselves now because they hear me speaking these things over myself as I'm reading my affirmations off the mirror and they're reading theirs off their mirror. And we're doing gratitude on our way to school. And our entire life has changed because we saw an opportunity, just like Chelsea said. And so I want to go ahead and pass it off to my beautiful, glowing, radiant friend, BK.
Oh my goodness. I resounded with half of that. I'm like, why am I even sharing? Like, that's half of my story. But truly, you guys, what a treasure to be here. And I do want to tell you, I feel very glowy tonight. And I'm going to just put in a plug for our skincare with Plexus. They do topicals really, really well. I am 46 and feeling, and actually, I kind of feel like I might be looking younger as well. So you're going to get just some of this. Okay. So you guys, military wife, for 16 years, 4 little children. Literally, when I met my husband, he was like, I have 2 questions for you. I'm like, who is this guy? Who does he think he is? He's like, would you want to homeschool your kids if you got married? I'm like, I know education. And who has the energy and like patience for that, right? And then he was like, would you marry somebody in the military? And I'm like, yeah, I really don't know. You guys, here I am. Now my husband is retired from the military because of Plexus. Because let's see, it was 11 years into our wonderful marriage. You guys, strong marriage. Yes, all of us have to work through all the things, right? We build this wonderful thing together. We have the children. We find ourselves in this place where we are so grateful for us. It was so grateful for healthy children. And I found myself so low, you guys, like void of energy, void of oomph. Literally, I remember calling my parents and they wouldn't believe me. They were like, oh, you just need to go to church more. Oh, I'll pray for you. You guys, I didn't know what was wrong. I went to my husband. I said, I am despairing. Like, I don't know what to do. I'm grateful for my life. I'm reading my Bible. My friends are praying for me. You guys, it was at that point in time at 39 years old, homeschooling from my couch, that I realized like the eczema that I had as a child was crawling back up my wrist again. It's like everything just slowly but surely started adding up. The bloating, the constipation, drinking the Vitamix packed full of greens. Like, looking back, I'm like, it was so much, you guys, just to poop every day. It worked. But man, that does a number on your tummy too. You guys, clean eating over 10 years. Like, none of this made sense. I ended up going to 2 wonderful, precious physicians who were like, you need to stop homeschooling. Like, it's just too much for you. You need to humble yourself and stop homeschooling. And I went home and I was like, David, they gave me, 2 prescriptions and told me to stop homeschooling. And he's like, well, let's look at those prescriptions. You guys, we Googled all of the information, called the family friend that was a doctor, looking at side effects, and put it off. We're like, let's just wait another couple of weeks, keep praying for you. Let's look for options. You guys, I was taking like this truckload full of supplements, like in a shoebox. My kids remember that, that supplement bin, over $300 a month on me. And literally my husband, like, this is when I found Plexus through my friend Corey. He was like, what in the world is this even doing? Like, why are you taking all this? I was like, I don't know. So my friend Corey, I saw her posting those before and after pictures on social and with a pink drink. And I was like, what is wrong with you? You don't do anything artificial. The only way this drink could be pink is that it probably has junk in it, but this isn't like you. You guys, she talked me into it. I decided to give it 6 months. She was like, just so you know, I'd rather you not join until you're ready to give it 6 months. And I was like, that's a little much. And my husband was like, you've been on this whole container for like 3 years and Plexus is going to save us money. So I really suggest you do this. I was like, yes, sir. Still military. So I did. You guys, didn't feel a thing. She kept messaging me for 18 days. How are you feeling? I'm like, the same, but it's fine. I told you 6 months. I'm giving it 6 months. She's like, okay. Month 3, remember, we're going to bring in the multivitamin. I'm like, okay. Day 18, I'll never forget it. It's actually still on social media. I woke up. It was a Saturday. I woke up early. Never woke up early. No. Husband let me sleep in every Saturday. I rarely went to church on Sundays because I couldn't get up. I couldn't make it through the service and get home. And I didn't have the oomph, you guys. Literally day 18, that time of the month had hit. And I was like, oh yeah, let's go to the beach. And he was like, okay, we could probably do that. It's like 2 hours away. I'm like, let's pack up the kids. On the way to the beach, he was like, whoa, do you realize what's happening here? What in the world? And I literally was like, yeah, this is kind of amazing. Like no cramps, no moodiness, no weirdness to my husband during that time of the month. And he, at that point in time, was like, I think you should get on social media. This is before we had lives, and make a video. And I was like, and talk about my PMS or my lockup. And he was like, yeah, your friends need to know. And I'm like, you're right. So I did. You guys, I got so many messages from that video. It is hilarious. But literally, I thought to myself, oh yeah, baby, I'm giving this 6 months. Because if this tiny little thing is happening in day 18, I got people I want to share it. So I secretly shared because I didn't want to be, I don't know. I was so afraid of coming across the wrong way. I thought maybe my friends would like throw my character out the window if they saw me share on social, which is ridiculous. People know who we are, right? So I was messaging my mom, this is literally what I said to my mom. I am starting on these things and I feel like it could be a blessing for you too. I'm on this testimonial page. Like, I feel like we should do this together. She was like, do it. I signed me up. Like, here's my credit card. You know, our moms, you guys, I did that with a few other besties. And before you knew it, I had made like almost as much as our mortgage was costing during that time. And my husband was like, hold up. What are you doing? I feel like there's something wrong. I think you like scammed somebody. Literally called the company. They had to explain to me how I made this money. And that's when I was talking to him and he goes, I feel like you could help so many people. Like if you could make $1,000 a month, that would be so life-changing for us. So I went for it. I started watching the videos. I talked to my friend and said, how do I make sure not to be a freak and sound too salesy to my friends and family? She showed me, you guys, just one day at a time. I was still homeschooling. This fit in with my life. And, you know, after we made that $1,000, we were like, what are we thinking? Like, let's get you out of the military, retire you early, and make all of our dreams come true. God willing, this could be his answer for us in so many regards. So if you're here and you're like, man, this sounds too good to be true, or gosh, like what's in that, those weird vitamins, these sounds like snake oil. You guys, these are long-term supplements that we all need for our long-term health. So no matter what, you're going to be supporting your body with omegas and multis and lowering inflammation all of your body and give you an extra energy kick to do what you really want to do, which for most of us, I know, it's to serve our hubbies, love our families better, and change our communities. That's all I got. And we're going to end with Lane.
Oh my goodness. I love that. I love your energy. I love you guys hearing all of these other stories because it reminds me every single time how much bigger this is than just myself, you know, but if my story was the only one I knew, I would still have the same belief. I would still get giddy every time I got to share, and I would still pray every time, Lord, let me share it in the way that you would have me share it. It's an honor to get to share it every single time. So my name is Lane Loftus. I'm a wife, a mother to 4, and motherhood, just like with all these ladies, is my heartbeat. And it's really the reason that I'm on these products and have been for 7 years. So my journey started 7 years ago, 2016 as well. And I had just brought my newest baby home. He was my rainbow baby. I was able to quit my job at my salon. I say I was able, pretty much I took away that income. So we were living penny to penny, but we could do that. And I was living my dream. Chasen, my baby, was my rainbow baby. So I had a miscarriage right before getting pregnant with him. And just kind of fast forwarded through that because I was uncomfortable with, you know, grief and things like that. Fast forwarded through that, got pregnant, had a healthy pregnancy, and here we were at home and I was living my dream. And I was so sad. I don't know how else to explain it. I was not myself. This was like days after we brought him home from the hospital. Michael went back to work, and here I was. And we had struggled with infertility, had been told that we wouldn't be able to have kids without very expensive procedures, that there was no way we could afford. And I was living a dream, and it was a miracle. God did that. He gave me 3 babies. And I was literally crying. I would take Chasen into the nursery to nurse him. And normally I'm like all out there, don't care, nurse in front of anybody, but I would take him in there because I needed to cry. And I was embarrassed about that. And his hair, I just remember his hair would be soaking wet from my tears because I just needed to release tears I didn't understand why. I was exhausted. All the moms have talked about nap time. Well, if my kids weren't asleep by 2 o'clock, like somebody was going to die. I had to have them shut up and go to bed at 2 o'clock. I was not to myself. Just crazy things like in the middle of the night when I would get up to nurse, your whole life story is nursing the first several months. I would go and eat a Dove chocolate bar out of the freezer every single time like a robot in the middle of the night. So like 3 feedings, 3 bars. No, I'm not kidding. It was insane, but I didn't know that wasn't normal. Because like they said, there's these shirts and there's these slogans about mom life. And so I just thought, okay, well, this is what I wanted. Suffering inside. But I didn't say anything to anyone because I was embarrassed and I really hated myself for not being so happy and so grateful. And so, I was ashamed at how I felt. And so finally, the day that it all shifted for me was I had a really terrible idea to dress all the kids up and take them to the library. For what reason? I don't know. I thought, I'm just exhausted and I need to get out of the house. That's what's wrong with me. I just need to get out of the house. And so I got them all ready in really cute clothes that cost money, that we didn't have. And Chasen, the baby, had a blowout, of course. So I take him back inside. We were already on the way to the car. Take him inside to change him, and I come out. And the other 2, Grady and Layla, were literally sitting in a mud puddle, sitting in it, rip their clothes. And I'm the mom to be like you girls that know me, I'm like, who cares? We're country people. But I was psycho mom, like I yelled at them. I was like, what are you doing? And I was mean. And I had promised God during all those years of infertility, I'll never yell at my kids. I love my parents. I had a great childhood, but there's a lot of yelling in my house. And it was important to me that I never did that. And I did it. And Grady, I remember him looking at me like, oh my God, like he was scared because he had never seen me act like that. And that's when I decided, get over yourself. It's not about you anymore. Like you have way more to give them than this, and you need help. I didn't want to go to the doctor. We didn't have the money, didn't want to do that. So I reached out to the girl on Facebook that had been sharing pink drink selfies that I had absolutely made fun of, thought it was ridiculous. I had never taken a supplement in my life, never said the words gut health in the same sentence, didn't know anything about probiotics. I wasn't health minded. I was just desperate for something. And I couldn't do drugs and I couldn't drink Red Bulls because I was nursing. And so I was like, I'm doing this. I'm just going to do this. And I tried just the pink drink. And with just the pink drink, within a couple of weeks, Michael came home from work one day and I was outside and he actually took a picture of this. And this was before we made our money on social media. We didn't take pictures that often, but that's how monumental this day was. He took a picture because we both knew something had changed. I was outside. I had a tutu on my head and a cape on my back. And like, I don't even know, but I was like all Supermaned up. And I had my baby in those big old wraps that, we tied our babies on us with. And I was running around playing make-believe with my kids. And guys, that's who I am. That's who I am. I was like free. I was myself. I was who God created me to be as a mom. And we, both of us, knew then, like we believed in these products. And I started sharing about the products. And one thing led to another. And I would love for you guys to look us up on YouTube, Loftus Party of Six, on Instagram, whatever, to hear the financial side of the story. But to sum it up, within a few years, we were able to retire my husband, and we sold everything we owned, bought a truck, bought a fifth wheel, and traveled the world, not the world, the United States of America, full time as a family of, now there are 6 of us. I've had another child since then. So sharing about it was genuine for me. But if I was only presented with the business opportunity today, I would do it for the business as well, because it's changed our life. It's opened so many doors for us. So I just am so excited every time I get to share that. And my prayer, and I know all of our prayer, is that something here resonated with you tonight, and something clicked inside of you, like, I want to live my best life. I want to live my healthiest life. And I hope that Plexus can be a part of your story as you go forth. So thank you so much for jumping on. We want to be respectful of your time and let you go. And it was an honor to do this with all of you ladies. Have a good night, and thank you.